I'm announcing that earlier this morning, we have filed an official complaint under the Convention on the Rights of the Child.
World leaders don't like being told what to do, much less by a group of school children, including a certain Swedish teenager who've decided to take them to court.
My name is Greta Thunberg. I am 16 years old, and I'm doing this because world leaders are failing to protect the rights of the child by continuing to ignore the climate and ecological crisis.
A summit on climate change is the centrepiece of this year's General Assembly, and Greta Thunberg its standout star. It's a shift in emphasis for Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, who came to office focusing on conflict resolution, but instead has watched peace escape the likes of Syria, Yemen and Libya, with a new conflict looming in the Gulf.
It is that sense of urgency, but I have to say the Secretary General didn't do it alone. I think all you had to do is watch the millions of people, especially young people, that were in the streets on Friday. And the Secretary General is fully aware that he may have been speaking, but in the back, there were millions of young people screaming and pushing and demanding action.
That it takes children to call world leaders to account on something like climate change says a lot about the state of global diplomacy, as it does about the ever more elusive search for consensus that the UN and this vast gathering are supposed to be about. 193 countries represented, more than 500 side events, a blizzard of activity. But how much can actually be achieved? Former diplomat and UN weapons inspector Richard Butler.
Anyone who walks into an assembly like this and thinks that I can get what I want from it selfishly and take it away, put it in my pocket and so on, is not living on the same planet that I'm living on. Interdependence is the name of the game. Finding solutions that suit a larger rather than a smaller number of people is what this place is about. And the moral imperative to do so is the key thing that an assembly of this magnitude mobilises.
The imperative to act on climate change is not shared by President Trump, who attended a parallel meeting on religious freedoms instead. A deliberate attempt to divert attention from a cause he doesn't believe in, critics said. An attempt that doesn't appear to have worked. Jonah, Al Jazeera at the UN in New York.